If you decided to click on this video because it randomly happened to pop up on your page, or maybe you were curious by the title and maybe you just wanted to take a peek, I'll explain the title along the way. This is my first ever video, and I wanted to take the time to tell you who I am and kind of like my life so far. And I doubt you will actually see this. But to whoever does see this, I just want to take the time to tell you who I am. My upbringing, my so far experience in life, and to why I ultimately came to make this decision and start doing YouTube and content creation. My name is Chris. I was born and raised in Virginia. As a outdoorsy kid, I had a decent amount of friends, mostly through my older brothers and a couple friends my age. I was outdoors every day. I loved it. There wasn't a stressful thought in my mind as a kid. And obviously, we were all kind of like that. Some may not, unfortunately. And then after elementary school, I moved to Florida. And that's where things changed a lot for me. I had no friends, hardly. I met maybe two or three in school when I first moved here. I became very quiet. I was introverted. And as soon as I got to hit middle school, it just sucked. Having multiple classes I just didn't care for, it was the worst thing ever. I couldn't sit still either. I was diagnosed with ADHD at a very young age. And the more I sat in class and, just stared at the projector they had put up and sit in my desk, take notes, I thought, what's the point of all this? I don't want to do this. This is boring. I want to go home. I want to play video games. I want to go home and play games. That's what I like to do. Throughout middle school, I met a couple friends, and we formed a group, and we played Xbox 360 together. Games like GTA, Minecraft, Halo Reach, Gears of War 3. Those were kind of like games I played when I was a young teen. That was kind of my era. And I just had a blast. Every thought of school just faded out. And I would even lie about doing my homework just to play more. And ultimately, it came back to bite me, obviously. And then high school came around, and I hated it even more. Things were harder, more stressful. Some of the teachers were okay. Students were, mostly they sucked. I didn't get along with many people in high school. Again, I still had my friend group from middle school for the most part. Xbox Ones rolled around, I think, around the end of my time in middle school. So I think by the time of high school, I already had an Xbox One. I was playing like the new gen GTA. I was playing some backwards compatible 360 games on the Xbox One. I think Gears of War was one of them. I can't remember. Man, I really don't remember. I was playing more Minecraft, and again, I just hated school. I hated sitting there. I hated taking these classes that I saw no value in, at least at the time. And I lied over and over. I avoided doing schoolwork. My grades were horrible. I hated every second of being in school. All I cared about was playing games and just being with my friends and hanging out with my family. And you can take away from that, I pretty much flunked every single class except weightlifting because it's weightlifting. It's really not that hard to get a good grade in there. You dress in and you do the workout that he gives you for the day, and that's really about it. So to sum up my life of school, I never paid attention. I always got in trouble for, not doing homework. I couldn't sit still, so I got put on medication. And that also sucked. I felt stiff. I felt lifeless. An extreme calm, but it wasn't a good kind of calm. I felt devoid of kind of like who I am, the jittery, awkward, you know, introverted, but sometimes extroverted with friends. Maybe it's just because I was that specific group I already knew, but I hated it. I was forced to concentrate on something I'd never wanted to do. Waking up at the butt crack of dawn for something I hated, absolutely hated. And everyone's different, obviously. Some people excelled really well in school. I knew a girl who straight A's every class. Smart. Not me. I could never do that. But anyway, Hurricane Michael comes around and COVID-19. My class, the class of 2020, got to graduate with a freebie because half of our school year, due to COVID, or no, sorry, it was Hurricane Michael first because the school got destroyed, was online. And even more so online after COVID. And so I guess the district board or whatever just decided, hey, class of 2020, you're free to go. I had a 1.6 GPA. That is how atrocious I was. I never applied myself. Now, I'm not saying if I applied myself, I was going to ace everything. Even when I did try, I just never understood anything. Except maybe like world history. I mean, but it's world history. That's like the easiest thing. Aside from English class. And I was humiliated by my parents. They told me I got off with a freebie. You got lucky. You never should have made it like that. And it's not that they wanted to tear me down, but they just wanted me to do better. And I was also upset with that. It took me a while to kind of just reconcile the fact that I got away with doing nothing. Even as much as I hated it, I didn't deserve to be free of that. I should have stayed behind and had to work my butt off for it. I mean, I was taking 2 credit recovery classes my senior year, and I was making up like 6 classes in those 2 class periods. And then I had to do it at home as well. I had a year of summer school. I can't remember which grade between I had it, honestly. It's been a while. But anyway, that sums up high school. I should have flunked, and I got a freebie. Then I got my first job. Good old Dave and Buster's. Man, I hate that place. That place sucks. I was 17 at the time, so I had to take mandatory breaks every 4 hours. It's like 30-minute breaks, I think. My brother got me a job there, and I was working roughly 70 to 80 hours a week, 6 days a week. They got away with doing a lot to me, I won't lie. But I didn't complain too much because when I showed up, I figured this is just how it is. This is how work has to be. I complain sometimes, of course. I'm only human. And I'm whiny sometimes. But I was a food runner and I was a bus boy, bussing tables. And that was my thing for about 8 months. And I quit because I hated it. I had no life outside of that job. You're working from like 11 a.m. to like 2 in the morning. You go home, play a couple games of Smite with my brother, because obviously we work the same hours. So we'd play some Smite for probably like an hour or 2, go to bed, and as soon as I woke up, it's time to get ready for work. And I did that for around, 8 months, and it sucked, man. I can't frame it any other way. So the Dave & Buster's era was over. I joined Publix. Now, anyone who lives in the South, I don't know how far up it's gone. I think it's up in, you know what? I don't remember, honestly. But Publix is more of like a southern grocery chain. If you live in the South, if you know, you know. I joined Publix. And I was like, wow, this place is awesome. I got a nice clean uniform. I'm not cleaning up sewage from the bathrooms in the Dave & Buster's because they refused to close the building. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, it was gross. Anyway, I had hope because it was a job that I could move up in. My starting pay was like $5 higher than what I was doing beforehand. And I was working 40 hours a week, not 80, and I was making the same amount because obviously my pay was increased by, a lot. And I had a good team. I had strong teammates, I mean. Management was okay, I suppose. Some things happened, obviously, as All of us have personal lives, relationship issues, people I liked that I couldn't be with. It sucked. But I needed to get promoted and just focus on that. So one day, I became a grocery team leader. Little did I know, this is the biggest regret I've had so far. Aside from flunking school as hard as I did. I was working at 2 a.m. to 11. I was working 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. when we got busy. I had to be there overnight. 3 years. Now, I was only a team lead for like 2 years, but 3 years I was working at like 2 a.m. and doing overnights and not seeing my family. It was the worst. I never had time for friends. I barely saw the sun. I never saw my family. I get sent photos of my family at dinner or out at Topgolf or something, and I just wish I was there with them. But I thought this is for the greater good. I'm going to get promoted. I'm going to make a lot of money, and this is for my future. And you have to sacrifice things for your future, which I don't disagree with. I believe, yeah, there are some things you have to sacrifice, but I wasn't going anywhere because I realized I didn't want it, because I'd found something else I wanted to do, which brings me to my topic, which brings me to the title of the video. So sorry to keep you waiting. I decided I wanted to do YouTube. And not just YouTube specifically, you know, maybe stream on Twitch, stream on TikTok. I was like, man, look at them. They get to play video games. Or whatever, you know, not every YouTuber's a video game creator. Some people do, you know, they're like IRL, more like vloggers, I guess you could say. There's people that do, what you call it? People that do like finances stuff. Like there's so many things you could be on YouTube. And obviously, yeah, I play a lot of video games. I could be a video game content creator. Now, a lot of people say that YouTube's very saturated. I don't fully disagree with that, but maybe the video games are saturated. But I feel like every YouTuber, whether they're a small or big one, is unique. Maybe some of them do the same things, and maybe some of them make the same mistakes. We all do. I wanted to give it a shot because I hated my life so much. I had days I'd call out of work just because I didn't want to go when I knew they needed me that day, when I knew it was going to be busy, or knew we had a big truck coming in. Ugh, excuse me for yawning. It's like midnight right now as I'm recording this, so I don't know when I'll upload it because I got to do a bunch of editing, obviously. But it's like midnight. I'm tired, so excuse me for yawning. I'll try and cut out what I can. I hated my life. I never saw my family. I never got to hang out and see my friends. I didn't really have time for a relationship. Not that I was really successful in any before that. I was miserable. And I got to a point where I was tired of this idea that you have to be in this one spot and you have to continue on this one path because this is your future. You need security. You need a future. What if it's not the future I want? What if it's not what I want to do? I hate it. And I get it. Some things in life you just have to do. That's part of life, is the struggle. But what if I could do something else? What if? It's all I think about. What if? What if I take the chance? What if I try it? What if I succeed? You know, if this doesn't work out after a year, you know, whatever, I'll go back to doing my public stuff. You know, whatever. I'll go somewhere else. I'll find another job. I'll do something else. But what if I was successful? What if I could retire my parents early? What if I could help my siblings out with money when they needed it? Because, I mean, we've all seen YouTubers, they make good money. Now, not all of them make like millions of dollars, but if I could just get that financial freedom to support my family and to do what I want to do for a living. Don't get me wrong, it's fun. Like, I am passionate about it. Like, just thinking about recording this video tonight, I got excited. I got excited compiling all this stuff. It's something I am passionate about. But obviously, I still think about the financial part of it. I could live doing this and make money off of it? I wouldn't have to take orders from anyone. I won't have some boss, some manager breathing down my neck. Now, maybe, you might have a Twitch manager or, whatever, TikTok manager. I don't know if that's really a thing. Follow YouTube guidelines. I mean, it's obviously like a job. You got guidelines to follow. There's higher ups that'll get onto you if you do things wrong. But like, it's still so much different. From what I've seen so far, I could be wrong. And I just thought, I want to try. I've been told, by my family, my friends, you got a good personality. You're funny. You can do voice impressions. You're personable. I like talking to people. I like being funny. I like it being entertaining. And I'm just willing to give it a shot because I'm ready to gamble it because I hate everything I'm doing now. And it's gotten to the point where I would rather give it a shot and say I failed than stay at Publix, hating my life and dreaming of what if I tried it. I'd rather upload a crappy YouTube video with bad editing and maybe the audio sounds bad and the gameplay's horrible, but I tried. I went out of my way and I said, you know what? I'm just going to post this and see what happens. That's what I want. I want to be successful. Not just for me, but what if I want to have kids in the future? What if I want a wife someday? Obviously, that comes with having kids. Duh. I don't want her to have to work. If she wants to, obviously that's up to her, but she'll never have to if I make it on here. And so, like the title, after 3 years of dealing with this schedule and not seeing my family and friends and having a normal life, I decided to step down from my position as a Publix team leader, a grocery team leader. I am so tired of it, and it is soul draining, and I want to take a step forward in the path I want to take. I want to do what I want to do and be successful at it. No matter how hard it is, I'm willing to learn how to do this. I want the feedback. Every video I post, I want the comments. Either pushing me on to keep going or saying, hey, the audio wasn't great this video. Maybe check some settings, or, hey, the video was a bit buggy, check that out. Maybe the quality wasn't the best. Or maybe the editing wasn't perfect. I want to learn and do better. And I want to connect with people. I want to be entertaining for people who maybe are alone, who need a friend, or just someone to watch on their screen. And I'm sure every YouTuber says this, but it's true. I want to be someone you can click on a video and just forget about everything. Just relax. That's what I want. And so I want to be a YouTuber or, content creator in general, use multiple platforms, obviously. But that's what I want to do and be successful and financially free myself and take care of my family and eventually my kids one day if I ever have them. So yeah, that's the step I want to take towards my future because it's my choice. I have the right to say no. I don't want to do this anymore. Let's take a step this way. And so this will be my first video. No one's probably going to see it. I'm not really expecting anyone to ever see it. If you're someone who knows me personally, whether you're a friend or family, I appreciate all the support in my life. My family and friends have always been supportive of me and what I want to do. So if you are a friend or family and you see this video, I appreciate you and everything you've done for me and to support me. If you're a stranger, I want to be open and connect. I want my audience, if I ever obtain one, to see me as someone they can go to just watch and just take some stress off their mind. Bring some ease to their day. That's what I want to do. And so it's going to be rough. I don't have a schedule set, for recording or uploading, or I'm still on my team leader schedule for a couple weeks. And then I go to my new one, which will be way more optimal for recording. If you want to follow me on Twitch or on TikTok, I'm going to figure out how to put those links in the description when I upload this. I'm going to try to, so don't hold out hope. but I'm gonna try to. If you go on TikTok, my TikTok name should be the same as the YouTube name, but I should be able to get the URL links in there. So I'm gonna try my best to do that. But I just want to say thank you for taking your time to watch this and to listen. I know it's probably not what you would normally click on if you do watch this, but I want to put this out there so I could say I took my first step forward into doing what I wanted to do. I appreciate all of you, and I don't have much to offer right now if you subscribe to me or follow me on Twitch or TikTok, but I promise you, I'm gonna bust my butt to be successful and to be entertaining and to help those who need that help. Have a blessed day.